Joining us, New York Times chief White House correspondent and MS Now contributor Peter Baker, New York Times opinion columnist David French, immigration attorney and former president of the American Immigration Lawyers Association, Alan Orr, joins us as well. All right, I'm going to start this off, guys, by playing Todd Blanche on Sunday on Fox News.
Is the FBI conducting an investigation into that agent, into the shooting? What can you tell us about that? Will it be made public?
Look, what happened on that day has been reviewed by millions and millions of Americans because it was recorded on phones when it happened. Okay, the Department of Justice, our civil rights unit, we don't just go out and investigate every time an officer is forced to defend himself against somebody or putting his life in danger. We never do. We investigate when it's appropriate to investigate, and that is not the case here.
Okay, so I'm bringing this in because what we're talking about is a woman who was protesting ICE, honking her horn. She was shot and killed by an ICE agent. He says he was acting in self-defense. The video is disputed, obviously, with a lot of people coming on the side of the officer was actually not ultimately in harm's way. Regardless, it's disputed. The fact that Todd Blanche is saying that there's no investigation necessary, David, I'm having a hard time accepting that.
You should be having a hard time accepting that because, you know, the giveaway here that this is not a serious effort to look at the actual facts is when he says things like, well, millions of Americans saw the video. I'm sorry, the legal standard for analyzing whether a shooting was lawful or not, violated the constitutional rights of Renee Good or not, is based on a totality of the circumstances inquiry, not just a moment of threat inquiry. And even there, that inquiry would show that it looks by all appearances that he was already outside of the vehicle's path before he fired the first shot. These are things that would be resolved in an investigation, along with what is his training? Was he violating his training? Was this officer created danger when he walked in front of the vehicle as she was trying to leave? These are all questions that are answered in investigations that you can't answer just by looking at some cell phone video. This is not how an investigation is done. And what's important for people to realize is he knows this. This is not an inexperienced attorney. He knows very well this is exactly the kind of circumstance in which a rigorous DOJ investigation would be incredibly valuable. They're just not doing it.
So am I taking it too far to ask if that is just an admission from the administration that their agents, their federal officers, can do whatever they want, can just do whatever they want? When J.D. Vance said they have absolute immunity, is that them saying, get in our way, and if we kill you, not our problem?
Well, I mean, if you're looking at the totality, let's go back to totality of other circumstances, including the January 6 pardons, including many other pardons from Trump. We're looking at a pattern, and the pattern is if you are a Trump ally, if you're doing what Trump asks, then the law doesn't apply to you. If you're a Trump enemy, a Trump opponent, or even if he just perceives you as an opponent, then he's going to wield the full power of the government against you often in lawless ways. This is a pattern from day one. And I think it's a mistake to just look at this one shooting and just look at this one shooting in isolation. We have to look at this in context. And the context is very clear. It's impunity for his allies, and it is punishment for his opponents.
So, Alan, when I see the videos that are coming out from Minneapolis, from all over the country, frankly, and have been coming out now for about a year, of ICE agents, Border Patrol agents getting really physical with protesters or physical with detainees or physical with bystanders, breaking car windows. Is that normal? Is that the protesters and the detainees and the bystanders all getting in the way, impeding law enforcement? Am I seeing this wrong? Am I not seeing it as the administration says I should be seeing it, which is that they're trying to do their jobs. They're trying to deport people who should not be here, who should not be here. They're illegal. And these are all people getting in the way. And but for them, everything would be fine.
Yeah. So I think in historical context, we've been able to remove people without this type of violence in the past. So that's A, to sort of start it off with. And I think you can't deny what your eyes are showing you. even though the secretary was on the television this weekend saying that they didn't really need the court ruling to make a decision to not use pepper spray on individuals, I can't believe what she's saying because I see what they're doing every day. And the video evidence is the record. And the fact that they're so harpered against not having video evidence anymore shows you what the problem is. So it is not normal. It is not required. And even if the individuals are undocumented in the country, we do not have to remove people in such way. And why do we say they're getting in the way when it is the agitation from the federal government that is causing these problems? No one, almost in any of the videos, is saying you can't remove anyone. Even I'm not saying you can't remove anyone. We're saying the way and the process under the Constitution and the laws are what's important to follow.
So what do you advise people, given the threats that they're facing now to protest, given that a woman was shot and killed, given that they're being pepper sprayed in the face, they're being physically taken from their cars, they're being injured, in some cases detained unlawfully? How do you advise people to practice this right? As MLK put it, the greatness of America is the right to protest for right.
Right. I think that's an important conversation to have today. And I think that there's going to be different levels for people to engage themselves. And some people like Dr. King were willing to give their life for the ultimate struggles of the community, and which she did. And so in some cases, you should not hamper the individuals from carrying out their forces. And videotaping individuals from a distance is not a problem. You can record them. There is no law that says you cannot record them. You should be a reasonable distance away. And if they instruct you to move away, continue to record and move away in that instance. But it is our right under the Constitution to protest. And this sort of conversation around protesting not being American isn't consistent with the history of our country or consistent with the teachings of Dr. King. His last book was on community or chaos. And this chaos, this fear-driven community that we're doing in Minnesota and Minneapolis is exactly what will drive us to our end. Rather than trying to neutralize, sending more officers to this place does not solve the problem. It just exacerbates it.